I remember like Halloween is coming up. You know, Halloween, we used to have hay rides. We had people in the community that had trucks. And we'd put straw on the back of the trucks and bales of hay. And as a young person, we would go on hay rides. We would come here and have community settlings and plays. And Christmas time, we would be here, you know, for Christmas play. And we'd have one of the older gentlemen dressed up like a Santa Claus, you know. All of that used to happen here. And that was before we added the fellowship hall to the church. And our days that we would have lunch at church, they would always be held here, you know. The tables would be set up. We'd come in one door, pick up your food, and when you get to your other door, you'd have your plate of food. And all such things as that, anything that the community had to come together for, this building was used for that during my time.
The structure that you see at our church now is different than what it was when the church acquired this property. And so on many occasions, we would invite members of the community to come and fellowship with us. Our homecoming is established on the fourth Sunday in October. And that has been, we just celebrated our 125th. Well, we will be celebrating our 125th church anniversary. And as a result of that, this is the location at this school, sometimes on the grounds, is where tents would be set up and different things. Tables would be set up, and there'd be people and food all on the lawn, with people just sharing a little bit about their past, a little bit about their present, what's going on with their families. It was an opportunity for you to meet with other people that maybe you didn't see all the time, an opportunity to fellowship. And this place where we are now was central to them being able to do that.
I remember on Saturday they had sellings with hot dogs, and we hardly ever got a hot dog back there then, but I remember those hot dogs and lemonade. and then some Sundays after church, they would have, say, homecoming, and they would come over here and all the ladies would have the good fried chicken. So I enjoyed that. Most of the men would be outside, but the ladies would be in the kitchen fixing the food, hot dogs, and getting the plates ready, and then we would file around and get the plates. Like I said, the men would go outside, but they had tables inside. Most of the ladies would be inside eating, and we talking about, well, they didn't talk about sports, but a little baseball back then. That was the big thing. The guys talk about the baseball, and the women's probably talking about sewing and stuff like that.
Well, as a young child, because I am a member of Cain's Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, I always just thought of it as the place where we go to have good food. Because before they built our existing fellowship hall, this is where we would come, and then this is where we would eat. We would line up in the kitchen, and then we would plates were served, and everybody would sit here together at the tables, the families and extended families, and then we would have dinner after church. I didn't know anything about it being a school, so my mother, Valor Holman Mack, was instrumental in doing the research with other community members and church members, and I happened to establish it as on the National Historic Registry. So then I became interested in it because her health waned, and I wanted to make sure that her hard work and efforts were not in vain. So that's when I joined the board of the Friends of Russell.
So when I was a little girl coming up, Cain's Chapel Church, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. They had a small fellowship hall, so we did a lot of homecomings over here at the Russell School, and which we used that kitchen. And back then it was myself, my my sister, the Mack children, the Shaw children, and we had a really good time over here. When homecoming came, they spreaded food out, and it was like I'd say about 10 or 20 people in that little small kitchen preparing for Cain's Chapel homecoming. Actually, we did a lot of community stuff dealing with the church here. I mean, we would have outings, we would have yard sales, we would have fish fries, and